Hello, welcome to Body of Knowledge, where we believe that the body helps make knowledge. So my whole kind of thesis, I guess, is that so much somatic work is already happening everywhere, but specifically in academia. And it's being erased. And it's being erased because somatic work is weird. So instead of masking it, I'm bringing you along my little somatic journey right now. It's been a very, very rough couple of weeks for me, and I think I tend to go very inwards when that sort of thing happens. And a few years, well, it wasn't that long ago, it might have been last year or the year before, I don't remember, I took a pre-recorded class with Jumana Sophia, and there was a part of the class where we veiled ourselves. There's a lot of political conversations about veiling, especially with places like France trying to erase people's religious freedoms. And so there's like a stigma, especially in the West, against veiling, that it's like anti-feminist. But the take Jumana Sophia took was that there is a time to veil. There's a time to be quiet and to go inwards. I wish I could remember which class it was. I think it was a winter solstice class, which is like the most yin of the wheel of the year. And when we got to the point where we veiled ourselves, I was really surprised by how somatically powerful the experience was. And I was thinking, so just to fill you in context, right? Yeah. So spring break was last week. I was like, yay, maybe I can finally catch up to what I'm doing. But then after all the stress of my last video, I ended up getting sick, and that wasn't fun. And then last week, my grandmother died very unexpectedly, I had talked to her a couple of days before the day she passed. She was out doing all the things that she loved to do, and she was out literally running around with her great grandkids. So everyone was very surprised, and I flew to Colorado. And yeah, I guess I haven't really gotten much of the grieving process because it was like immediately travel, and then because people were coming so far, taking care of the house, taking care of the yard, fly back. And I was thinking, like, I don't want to talk to anyone, I don't want to see anyone, I just want to hide. I just want to veil myself right now. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what you're seeing me do right now. There is just something actually really powerful about it, about closing out the outside world and just letting this be what it is, even if it's not very camera friendly. Let's see what's an update though on my process. For the field notes, it's hard to say because my research and my life are so intertwined by design. like in my video about what questions do I keep returning to, and I talked a lot about intuition and how so much of my research is about following intuitions. So my grandma died on Monday, and on Friday I wasn't feeling well. I had a very bad sore throat. I could barely talk. And I was just scrolling, and I saw a shoe advertisement of all things. And as a prop in this shoe advertisement was my grandma's favorite book. And so I texted her, I said, I can't talk right now, but I just saw a picture of your favorite book and I thought of you. And she calls me up and she's like, I know you can't talk right now, but I'm reading that book right now. And yeah, I'm glad that I followed my intuition, because that's my last memory of her now. And the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And so it's just a reminder that even though my research is at the moment focusing on research, like, we can take it laterally and apply it to so many other things. Another thing that I'm noticing is just how all of these rituals that I have been implementing for my own health in order to show up to be able to do embodied research have helped so much right now. Like this morning, I was just feeling so much grief, and I had a tool to turn to. I had a recording of a breathwork for grief video, and so I spent a half hour this morning doing that and letting my body feel what it's feeling, so that I'm not overriding it and burying it, but I'm allowing things to be felt. For my research specifically, I'm getting a little bit hot here. The sun's starting to hit me. We'll see. I might have to unveil, but I don't want to. It feels so comforting to be in here. For my research, I started looking into practice as research, which I'd mentioned in a previous video. And I realized anthropology, especially well-done anthropology, is already doing that. Like a well-written ethnography is really a work of creative nonfiction. There's the thick descriptions which evoke the senses. Oftentimes there's photographic or videographic documentation, all kinds of created artifacts. So that's already actually happening in anthropology. So I didn't really want to spend more time going down that road because I don't think it's going to be generative for what I'm after. But I did find another article talking about research as craft, like not metaphorically, but actually a researcher is a craftsperson, a master of their craft. And that was still missing some things. So I had directed seminar, and my professor gave some good advice, which is that maybe I'm going to use this lit review to track terms. What does embodiment mean? Not just to me, but how is it being used in the literature? What does somatic mean? Same thing, not just but to me, but what are the debates in the literature about what it means? Yeah, and so this has been something that this is just something that I'm finding, is that I am trying to jump like 100 steps ahead of where I need to be, and I keep finding that I need to pull back. And these are things that I need to know because I'm having trouble finding help because I can't articulate what it is that I'm after. So I'm just telling people, I'm like, this isn't embodied research. And if I'm able to like have my own little glossary of terms, I can say, this is what I want, this is what I'm doing, this is what I mean. Do you know anything that might be of interest to me? For myself as I'm searching and for others. So that's where I am with that. I got feedback on my Spinoza paper, the one I was anxious about, and the feedback basically was that the person appreciated that I was enacting what I was talking about, but said maybe a little more analytical grounding is necessary. And that's just, I think, a challenge with embodied writing, is that especially academic writing tends to privilege the analytic for like word count reasons. Like this paper specifically had a 1,500 word limit. And so I'm trying to fit in the theoretical and the poetical. I don't think that's a word. So that's just a challenge that I'm gonna have to learn how to navigate. And I did get a book recommendation, and I'm listening right now to The Mushroom at the End of the World by Anna Singh. One of my professors recommended that as an example of like beautifully written, rigorous writing. So trying to navigate that. So I need to edit that paper this week, add that in, and then just all the reading and all the things, and the grieving and the living. So that's my update. I'm gonna keep myself hidden. I think that's why some people don't like doing somatic work, because it's so much about the imagination, it's so much about energy. It is sometimes doing weird things like sitting on the floor of your office with a scarf over your head, but it works. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, hopefully I have more to say next week. Till next time.